First, you talk about that sequence with the penalty, with the touchdown called back, and then you kind of set it up and get the touchdown right after getting the ball back. What was going through your head when they were cutting it close, and then you had that big touchdown called back?
Obviously things like that happen, and you just have to respond to the adverse situations. But Jeff made a good play, and like I said, things happen, and we were relying on our defense to get the ball back for us, and they did so, and we came back and punched it in.
Was that second touchdown the same play call, or just a similar play call on the one that wasn't called back?
It was somewhat similar. We were trying to exploit the middle because they were giving us the middle a lot of times. So Jeff did a good job going through the middle again.
Lake Erie, you did really well against them last year, and this year really efficient. What was work? Why do you think the efficiency was so strong today? I mean, you were 12 of 16 and almost 300 yards.
I think the run game and the combination of run game and the pass game was really helping us a lot. Obviously we preach that all the time, is trying to get these safeties to come up. And then once they do that, we got receivers that can make plays, and a tight end, Andrew Dillon, which he made a couple great plays as well. So that combination really helps us out.
Well, you talked about Dillon. He made that one-handed grab in the middle. What did you see on that play? That was a pretty impressive grab with the defender right almost on his back.
It's funny because in practice we ran that same play, and he caught the same ball. Like, he caught it with one hand the same exact way, so it's kind of funny and ironic. But, he made a great play. He saved me. I threw it out there a little too far, and he made a great play to help me out.
Did you apologize to the defense? Because you guys were scoring so quickly. They had to be out there so much. I mean, how tough is that when you're scoring so well, putting up points, but when they're running that many plays, it's got to be tough on the defense?
It's part of the game. I don't think they can really be mad at that. But, obviously using the run game to utilize the time a little bit is a goal a lot of times. So it helps us still. Obviously we won points, so it works.
Seems like the run game is getting better every week. Is that what you get a sense of? You guys are kind of starting to really put things together, especially in the run game?
Absolutely. We have a great offensive line, seniors up front, and they care a lot about the team. Not just about the run game, they care a lot about the team. During practice, they put their heart and their soul into practice, and it's just about getting a feel for things. As a running back, you got to kind of gel and understand how the right side works and how the left side works, and it's just getting better every week. So, yeah, I believe it is.
How much does it help you with John Jennings as a threat to run on every play?
It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's not just John. It's John along with Jeff Janis on the outside and Mark Thrash. It's a complete team, and every week we just try to take steps forward to getting better and better.
And you're a transfer, so I mean, when have you felt? Did you feel comfortable going into the season, or has it been a process to kind of get back in game shape here?
It wasn't necessarily game shape, but for me to be playing right now, I consider it a blessing. I thank God every day because I had to go through so much and so many nights. I mean, crying. Tears every night sometimes, and I think these first three games have really helped me a lot, especially with our other running back being hurt. Mark Mays is giving me a lot more carries, so giving me just a lot more time to speed up the process. And I think, as bad as I think that we 3-0 right now. I think we can do a lot better. I think that we can be a lot better, and I think that at practice it's all going to come together a lot better than it has so far.
John Jennings made a huge block for you. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
I did. What were you looking at on that play? 'Cause, you were going all over the field.
Yeah, I just remember stumbling, and as soon as I stumbled, because I tripped like 2 or 3 times before during the first or second quarter, and I just remember staying like, stay up, because if I fall here, my coaches are going to yell at me. I know I'm going to get in trouble. Like, stay up. As soon as I stayed up, I saw John running, and I just seen him go across my face, and wow. And the funny part is, when I got back to the sidelines, people was joking with John, like, why you didn't lay that guy out? But in my mind, I thought he just laid the guy out because it flashed so quick. I'm just thinking in my head, ooh, let's go, John. And that's great, though, that you have a quarterback that not only can run, not only can pass, but that it come in and sacrifice his body for, I could have got 5 yards on that play. Who knew what would have happened? And the fact that he would, throw his body in there to make it so that our team can get further in the game, that's a great leader. It's a great leader.
I asked John about this, but talk about that penalty sequence where that touchdown was called back, and then the next time he had the ball, the first play, called it up again. What kind of went through your head when they were getting close and then the touchdown was called back?
Yeah, it's obviously disappointing when that happens, but they were playing pretty much the same coverage that we've been practicing against all week, so we knew what we could take, and we executed, and it worked out.
And this offense, big plays, has been a big part of the offense. Today you had, I think 3 touchdowns at 40 yards or more. Just talk about your guys' ability to kind of hit those big plays, especially in the passing game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, it comes back to watching film, and we got guys that can stretch the field. So we just take a look at the defense's weaknesses, and we pretty much just take what they give us.
Seems like you've been getting involved a little later in the games. You see, Alfonso had a touchdown early, Dylan had a big catch, and then you do a lot of your work kind of later in the game. Is that something that, when defenses open up for you maybe a little later, they're focused on early? Do you get a sense of that?
Yeah, I feel like that on the field, that early in the game they're trying to take me out of the equation, but we got guys that are almost just pretty much just as good as me. So when they start hitting big plays, that kind of loosens them up. So then we can start hitting bigger plays like with me.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And the run game seems to be improving every game. And obviously, that opens up things for you guys, you receivers. Is that what you get a sense of that when you've seen throughout the last couple of weeks with the run game getting better?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our running backs are working hard, and the play action, I mean, when it comes, it hits. And, we're just able to make big plays off when we have a good running game.
And talk a little bit, John Jennings made a block at one point on that big Norman Shuford run.
Mm-hmm.
When you see your quarterback doing those kind of things, how much does that get you guys motivated when he's out there, just another one of those guys making a big block?
Yep, it fires you up. And sometimes when you get a little tired and you say, I should have made that block. But, I mean, when you see your quarterback doing it, it kind of makes you realize, all right, I got to start doing that.
And 3-1 now, 3 in a row wins. What do you guys feel like you're hitting your stride now? This offense has looked pretty good the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, we're starting to, get things together, but there's still a lot of things to improve on. So we're still going to come back every week and, practice like it's for a championship game. So.
How difficult was their pace and their tempo? I mean, they rattled off almost 100 plays. I mean, how tough was that on the defense? Did you kind of feel that later in the game, or when did you kind of get a sense of that? That was pretty. They were running a lot of plays against you guys.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think we just needed to get off the field. We had them down, third down, and we just couldn't get off the field, and that's how you get that, that pace starts wearing on you. And if we just got off the field, it wouldn't even be there wouldn't have any effect on us. So we just needed to get off the field on third down, and I think that was our biggest problem overall on defense today.
Well, how hard is it when a team they were going for it on most fourth downs too? Has that changed the mindset at all? I mean, does that make it tougher when a team's not even going to bother to punt? I mean, they're going to have that extra down.
I mean, no, not in my mind. When it's fourth down, like that's when the defense just gets motivated even more, and I don't think it really is that big of a factor. Mm-hmm. I just think it's just another down.
And talk about that goal line play towards the end of the game. They were driving, had a chance to cut in the lead even further. But, what did you see? I think you came up with the ball. I don't know if you forced that last one, but it seemed like a bunch of guys met their quarterback at the goal line. Yeah,
that was I think that was Major that stripped it, and then I want to say that was I forget who came up with the ball, but yeah, I was right there, and it was a good hit basically, and then Major came in and just stripped it out, and it was awesome.
And I know you guys, if you look at the stat sheet, probably gave up more points and yards than you wanted to, but came up with some big plays.
Yeah.
Just talk about the ability, 3 forced fumbles, a lot of sacks, just some of those big plays that you guys made.
Yeah, I mean, we have flashes of greatness where, it's a little frustrating because we have a lot of talent on the team. I mean, our D-line is getting to the quarterback all the time. Our linebackers are, good filling. They were lighting up that running back a lot, but our DBs, they're athletic, most athletic DBs I've seen. And it's just frustrating. We just need to all come together and be more consistent. I think consistency is the key.
You personally had a big game. What were you seeing out there that you were able to get to the quarterback 4 times?
Well, first off, I want to say all glory to God, because without him, I couldn't do the things I do. And I don't know. I was watching a lot of film this week, and I just kind of was listening to Coach. He was giving us these keys, and so I was listening to Coach Miller on a couple of the on my first sack. He was telling us to go back door, and so that's why I kind of did, and I hit it back door, and because just basically meetings and studying up on film.
And did you guys get a sense feeding off each other a little bit? I mean, you had 7 sacks as a team.
Yeah.
You guys were getting to the quarterback quite a bit. Were you guys kind of momentum building on that with that pass rush?
Oh yeah, anytime you get a sack, especially for the D line, it's like getting a touchdown. So we were just feeding off each other and just kept on going and trying to keep the intensity up and the momentum on our side when we could.
Thanks, Will. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, just got a couple for you. Sorry.
All right.
Hey, in the third, they got like within about, well, they were only 10 points down from you guys. I could sense a little bit of nervousness on the sidelines. What were the coaches saying to you guys?
Coaches were, saying the same thing. Like, we got to get off the field. We just got to come up with a 3 and out, and that's what we kept on saying. And I could, kind of see that people were starting to get down a little bit. But then, like, I was telling them, hey, we're winning right now. It's not pretty right now, especially for the defense. But at the same time, let's keep I just wanted to keep a upbeat.
Right. Thanks. Well, was the defense getting a little tired towards the end, or even at by about halftime because the offense was scoring so quickly, or?
I don't know. I can't really speak on the linebackers and DBs, but I think they were all right. And we were rotating a lot of defensive linemen. We got a lot of depth and a lot of good players on the defensive line, so we can just rotate players all the time, and that's what we were doing. And so everybody was staying fresh on the defensive line. One player goes down, we got another one backing him up, and it's just just as good. So.
Defense, obviously, the stat sheet, the points and the yardage are a lot, but the big plays kind of is what it came down to. I mean, they made a lot of big plays. You talked about that during the week. Did you think that was kind of what won you guys the game, that the defense, gave up some points, gave up some yards, but in the end, those turnovers and sacks kind of won you the game?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. When you're playing against good offenses, like the one tonight with Lake Erie and the one last week with Findlay and the one next week with Ferris, as a defensive player, you're going to have to cover a lot of ground. You're going to be putting matchups against really good skill receivers in space. So the whole thing is to get to the football, run to the football, and hit people. And we were able to do that on 3 occasions where we forced 3 turnovers. And we talked about the difference in a game like that. Kicking game is going to be big. The turnover ratio is going to be big, and the big plays are going to be big. And we hit enough big plays to help us out. We created turnovers. We won the turnover battle 3-0. And in the kicking game, once again, solid. And I think the big play was the Somsel blocking the extra point, and then us returning it for 2 points. So in those phases that we talked about all week, Mike, big plays, turnover battle, and kicking game, that's how we won the football game. And that's going to be week in and week out, regardless of talent matchups and how explosive the team is that we're playing or how explosive we think we are. It's still going to come down to turnovers, special teams, and making plays.
It seemed like they ran a really no huddle with the tempo was really nice, but then it compounded it with you guys scoring quickly. How tough was that when you guys' offense is rolling, but it kind of puts the defense on the back of their heels when they're on the field a significant amount of time? Well,
and I think people have been playing us a couple different ways. We're getting to the point where if you look at when we're snapping the ball, we're not running plays that quick, but we're making a lot of big plays. People are allowed, tonight we made some big plays where we moved the ball in quick chunks, and even when we tried slowing it down, those big plays get you in the end zone quick. So, our defense was out on the field. But once again, there's 2 things that I point to that we didn't do as good a job, and we talked about this as well, third downs. Still not where we need to be on third downs on both sides of the ball. We didn't convert a couple third downs that I thought would have the third down in the fourth quarter would have been big, and we didn't convert it, and then we went for it on fourth down. But my point is we've got to get better. Getting better on third downs on defense will get us off the field quicker. And then obviously converting more third downs on offense is going to allow us to stay on the field.
How tough was it when they were not even bothering to punt a lot of times and they were 4 down? Does it change the mindset of the defense at all, or is that just how difficult is that when they almost had an extra down most of the time?
And it does a little bit, and once again we cooperated a little bit with allowing a fake punt, and they did a great job of executing. I thought it was a great call. I give them credit for making that call deep in their own end on that opening drive. But you're correct. It is tough when you're playing against 4 downs, especially against a team that's got a good running back. I mean, let's be honest. That running back was leading the nation in scoring. He's a good football player. Their receivers were good players. They've got a good quarterback. The quarterback impressed me from the standpoint that even when we got good pressure on him, we talked about we made a lot of tackles for loss, but he made some fantastic plays running around and escaping pressure. So, at the end of the day, once again, their offense was really good. And defensively, we stepped up, made some key plays and the turnovers, and that enabled us to win the football game.
Talk about Will Schwartz's game. I mean, he played the game, but 4 sacks, had a 5th tackle for a loss, and that was a forced fumble. He was really getting to the quarterback and kind of leading the way with that pass rush.
And we need that out of Will. And I think, Will is a fantastic athlete. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. He's a tough kid, and he knows how to play defensive end. And I thought he really came alive today. And you said it, all those plays were big plays in that game. He made some big plays that turned the tide, that enabled us to get them in tough situations. And he was in his face all day long. And when he didn't get a sack, it seemed like he put on decent pressure. We need that out of all 4 of our defensive linemen.
And offense was very efficient. Jennings only had 4 incompletions, moved the ball on the field, and the running game keeps on improving. Just talk about how the efficiency of the offense tonight was really impressive.
Well, I agree with you. Like I said, I think we missed a couple third downs that I'd love to have back, but John did a great job of executing the offense, threw some great balls. Guys made some great catches. Andrew Dillon, one-handed catch. Janis made a couple nice catches in a crowd. I thought our line did a great job of protecting him. I don't remember, other than that last 4th down attempt, where he even got hit. So it's always great to see that type of protection, and if he's got time to throw, we're going to be okay. And then the other thing is, we spread it around again a little bit. Voltaggio had the first touchdown of the game. Janis caught his share of big plays. Dillon, we threw the ball to Shuford. And I really thought Norman had some big runs for us, some game-changing runs, momentum runs.
And Janis, it seems things open up for him later, have been kind of consistently later in the game, where they seem to be focusing him on early, and then he gets his big plays in like the 3rd quarter. Do you get a sense of that, where teams are kind of focusing on early, but then with all your different threats, he kind of makes big plays later?
Well, exactly. And one of the things is we always wait a few downs to see how people are going to play them, because people have played them a lot different this year than they played them last year. And he's seen a little bit more press coverage, but sometimes there's a safety over the top. Sometimes there's not a safety over the top. So it's been one of those things where, from a game plan standpoint, we see how teams play other teams, but every week we've seen them play against Jeff different than we saw him play on video against the other team. So it's a matter of us settling in and really trying to make the adjustments against those special type of coverages before we can really start attacking.
One last question for me. John Jennings made a block on that Norman Shuford run that opened that up and just was really impressive. How important is that when you have a quarterback making those kind of plays? I mean, how important is that to the offense, and it really kind of leads the way, get momentum?
Well, it's important. The offense is important to the whole team when you've got your quarterback. And I always say this, that quarterback's got to set the tone for the entire team in terms of toughness first. And not only a block like that, but on that last drive where we were going down to score 51, he made some great runs, refused to get tackled, ran, instead of running out of bounds, lowered the shoulder on their defensive back, extended the ball. He scored that last touchdown. It was a tough run. So I think John's toughness is what I think is setting the tone for this team.
Coach, what are some of the things you're going to focus in on against Ferris next week?
Well, Ferris has got a pretty good offense, and they got a great running quarterback. And they don't throw it as much as Lake Erie. They're going to run it more, but they're going to be as wide open and as explosive in the run game. So we've got to do a great job of bouncing back physically, because once again, when your defense is out on the field for as many snaps as they were today, we got to get them back physically. So they got to get in the training room and take care of those bumps and bruises, because we've got to be prepared and focus on being physical this week against Ferris, especially up front, and on both sides of the ball. And then the other thing, when you get ready for a Ferris team, they're going to play aggressive on defense, and we've got to be prepared for them to blitz. We've got to be prepared for them to play press coverage across the board. So it's going to be a great challenge for us. I think, I don't know, did they win tonight? I think they did. Yeah, they're 3-0. We're 3-0. So it's going to be a big game. And I told our guys in the locker room, this is for first place in the GLIAC, and we've got to have a great week of preparation in terms of intensity and treat it as a championship game.